Okay, listen. I'm going to open this up with our favorite guy in the whole wide world.
I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about politics.
CNN's Van Jones says we're screwed up the wazoo. Up the wazoo? Say it ain't so. Because it has to deal with Democrats and, well, the entire political situation. Are we screwed because of what happened on November 5th? I mean, here we go. How does he feel?
Yeah. And then just lastly, Van, in terms of Democrats and where they go from here, this last week.
Well, wait a minute. Why are you asking Van Jones when he said...
I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about politics.
I love that I caught that. That was beautiful.
We did see them some people try to protest during the president's address and then House leadership getting onto them, other Democrats calling them out. They still seem to be wandering around trying to figure this out. What's your take?
Can we ask another question? Do I have to talk about my own party? Can we talk about Ukraine or something? No. Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know.
We're screwed? What? I thought you guys said that Kamala and Biden had this in the bag, baby. That everything was good to go. That we had nothing to worry about. And that the Democrats were going to be great. Well, you know what? Now he says that we're screwed. Here's what I think about it.
Here's what I think about it.
There you go. Say it again, why we're screwed?
Party. Can we talk about Ukraine or something? No. Look,
why'd you talk about Ukraine? They're screwed too.
Man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Somebody like Donald Trump, we thought we'd at least have Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker's chair to hold him back if we didn't have Kamala in there to do the right thing. Listen, the Democratic Party is
Kamala to do the right thing. You really don't know anything about politics, do you? Because she was the least popular vice president and the most ineffective president in vice president in U.S. history. She ran a terrible campaign in the 2020 election cycle, and she ran a terrible campaign in the 2024 election cycle. It took her campaign 45 days or so, give or take, to put policies on her campaign website.
Going through a massive set of internal crises. You have a party that got trapped two ways. One, defending a broken status quo that nobody likes because they thought that Donald Trump was going to make it worse. But when you're defending the status quo, you're going to lose. And then offending most people in the country, calling everybody sexist and racist and transphobic and every other name, and then saying, please follow us. That's not a good strategy, folks. Defending a broken status quo and offending most of the country turns out is not as popular as my party thought it was going to be. And so it's going to take a while for people to get it figured out. I don't like talking about this. I'd rather be beat up. Can you give me something I can beat up Shermichael about? I don't want to talk about my own party.
I know. It's a tough question.
Oh, yeah. Because he doesn't know anything about
politics. I don't know anything about politics. I don't know anything about politics.
Yes, exactly. Because here's the thing. The layout for the Democrats, it's becoming a disaster. They have no plan. And it's something that, look, we just gotta run them down.
The other night I made a speech. The Republicans were going wild, and the Democrats were having their little signs up, little tiny signs. And I said, it's unbelievable. They don't get it. They don't get it now. And I think they're going to end up being a minor party if they keep going like this.
Yeah, there's the president with Maria B. arguing that Democrats could end up as a minor party if they don't revamp the message. What about that? Ro Khanna, Democrat out of California. How you doing, sir? Good morning. Thanks for saying yesterday. Saw you yesterday on Sunday with Shannon Bream. You can address the major/minor party, or you can address Van Jones, who had this warning on Sunday.
Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't.
That's going to be shared everywhere. Say it again.
Look, man, we're screwed. I mean, we don't know. No, Democrats don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Somebody like Donald Trump, we thought we'd at least have Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker's chair to hold him back.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries in the speaker chair. things that are not going to happen because the man, Hakeem Jeffries, that you just referenced, had admitted they don't know what to do. I mean, they're dying off. They're failing. They're falling. Stop crying, Van Jones.
If we didn't have Kamala in there to do the right thing.
What now, sir? Hello.
Look, parties go back and forth in American politics, but as you know, I stood up for the boy with cancer. I stood up when the president walked in. That's not where we need to make the argument. We need to make the argument on the economy. And in that interview, the president also said that he's not sure if there could be a recession. And you've got unemployment that's ticking up. You've got inflation ticking up. Consumer confidence is down. The Trump team is calling those short-term adjustments. That's concerning. That's where the Democrats need to focus. What is our economic vision?
Okay, all right. What is that vision? Want to get to that because Alyssa Slotkin says you guys are on your back end. Watch.
I don't think it's a secret that Democrats have been on their heels since Trump won the election. I think it's on us to be clear about not only leadership, and there's lots of leaders in both parties, but also a strategy. We are still finding our footing. And I think you can't get better until you admit you have a problem.
I mean, what is the strategy? I mean,
Nothing. That's why Van Jones is crying. That's why he's saying we're screwed. That's why right now we are in some unstable times, and we are having a party that has a complete identity crisis. I mean, Bernie cucked his entire organization away. You have AOC and the squad that's completely unaffected. They just don't have any real stratagem. This is the liberal implosion. And if I were third parties and independents right now, Greens and Libertarians, I'm looking directly at you. I'm looking at all independent parties at the county level, city level, state level, federal level. This is your time to shine and actually boot up and suit up. Because come next election cycle, be it the midterm and yes, by 2028, if you're not getting your crap together, even then my patience is going to go away. And I had a lot of high hopes. And Hard Lens Media has been very consistent. And yes, I love stepping on the Democrats. Yes, I'll be critical of the Republican Party too. But third parties, if you don't do anything these next 4 years that's effective, that's consistent, that actually can build up a real movement, well, then you're a waste of time. Because this is your time to strike. This is your time to build something.
Yeah, is it possum like Carville said, or are you going to go on the offense?
No, look, I think the strategy is to point out that some of their policies aren't working on the economy, that you can't cut $880 billion of Medicaid. That means the closure of hospitals and people being kicked off health care.
We don't know if
that
that's
you
happening.
can't. Well, I mean, the Republicans passed that budget. I mean, they just passed the budget with, in their numbers, $880 billion of cuts. You can't have blanket tariffs on allies that ultimately gives the grocery stores the ability to raise prices. But then we can point out where they're making mistakes. We also need to point out our vision. We have a vision to become a manufacturing superpower by investing in new steel industries in this country, by having new shipbuilding, by having new aluminum. We have a vision to make sure every kid has technology education. I represent Silicon Valley with the future of AI. We should be setting up AI academies in different places.
Then why don't you do it? Why didn't you do it then under the Biden-Harris administration? Why didn't you do it then when there was actually ample opportunity to do the right thing and actually fight back? But oh, wait, you don't do that, do you? You had these chances to step up and fight, but you chose not to. So in other words, in front of everybody, you're wasting my goddamn time.
We have a vision for making childcare affordable, for making healthcare affordable, so costs go down. That's what the Democrats need to be focused on.
Some of those ideas sound really good. Can I ask you something you said to Shannon yesterday? You know, the Al Green censure last week.
Yeah.
You didn't like his behavior. I heard that loud and clear from you, but he didn't vote to censure him either. And you said, I didn't vote to censure him because he did not engage in violence or something like that. He left. He was asked to leave. He left. Would it have required him to act out physically in order for you to approve a censure?
All right, and so we're not going to be focused on the Al Green censure because that was just one big waste of time, and it was embarrassing to even witness. But what can we see? What are we understanding here? It is the frailing last gasping breaths of a dying animal. We've seen all the documentary series before, when an old deer or bear or some magnificent animal is about to pass away. How about this? Let's call the Democrats and corporate media, people like Van Jones or Ro Khanna. They're all this big amalgam of this big giant whale, and it's going to pass away. And seeing such a gigantic beast pass away that's so bloated, what it's going to do is cause a whale fall. And it's a sloppy mess in which everyone witnesses a giant carcass in the middle of the ocean to be feasted upon. This is what the Democrats and corporate media have done to themselves. They lost their credibility. They lost their power. They've lost their influence. They lost any leg to stand on. They're hobbling around trying to make themselves look relevant, look smart, look capable. But they can't, because they abuse the one thing that matters, and that's trust of the people. Van Jones and people on CNN and MSNBC are hesitant to even talk about any kind of plans for the Democrats because their party doesn't have a plan. There was policies. I mean, if they adopted the Bernie Sanders method, then oh my goodness, boy, things would be very energetic for the Democrats. They would actually get things done. That's if they wanted to, but the leadership didn't want that. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the DNC establishment, the entire party as a whole, the power players, the donors didn't want that. And now they're trying to dust out Bernie Sanders to get all these crowds to show up and support. And Joe, go ahead and be anti-Trump. Okay, fine. You can be anti-Trump, but what's the policy? Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness, investing in our infrastructure, ending the wars. I don't know, making our lives better. Maybe an American bailout, a debt jubilee, full-on tax jubilee where the American people are pardoned. Wouldn't that be a sight? But no. Van Jones says we're screwed. Confidence is high. No wonder corporate media is hemorrhaging views. No wonder corporate media is going under. And no wonder Democrats can't bring in the crowds that they once used to. Because they don't have what it frickin' takes. Never have and never will.